joining us to go through the headlines, the stories that make the headlines today, Alex Armstrong and Stephanie Tetchy are both here. So we're going to talk about council tax rises first of all. Alex, where's the biggest one?
So it's Birmingham. It's
there's a shock with what they're going through at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the 7th council in 3 years that's really stacking up, with likely more to come. The government are announcing, Michael Gove's announcing some emergency funding because it's going to become an endemic problem in the UK. But, you know, Birmingham Council really does stand out because they've actually spent quite a lot of money on some ridiculous things. They actually built this athlete village for £560 million for the Commonwealth Games that nobody ever actually went. No athletes ever stayed in. They've also been criticised for having 21 officials earning over 100k or more. So your taxpayer money, your council tax is going to fund these very, very wealthy council bureaucrats. And they also came up in the news quite a lot this year for having spent a lot of money on renaming roads such as Equality Road, Diversity Grove. So they are coming under far more scrutiny than other councils because they have been spending a lot.
Well, they've had to make these payouts, haven't they?
They have.
To do with the equality battle, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. At
the tune of 1.1 billion. So you can see why they're in a little bit of trouble financially. Just to give the viewers some understanding here, a Band D council tax in Birmingham is £1,905.
What?
That's incredibly high, and that's going to go up 10%. So I think there should be some scrutiny on the way they're spending this money. They are blasting money. They are way overspending on bureaucracy and else.
And you know, Alex, I think some sort of respect for the people who are paying the bills. We're saying this year alone, 200 quid extra. And, you know, where does that magically come from, that extra money, on top of everything else? And we all know, you know, no matter what you go to buy now, no matter what service it is, it's more than it used to be. And I think a novel idea would be to sort of turn around and say, we're actually not providing this anymore, or not doing that. Not just cut things down, but just stop certain things totally and say, this is what you get for your money. This is our way of showing you you're getting value for your money.
Absolutely. I don't think council taxpayers care what you call a road, but it's how you're spending their money they care about. They just want their services to work, frankly. Just to have their bins taken on time would be a privilege in this day and age. So I couldn't agree more.
When you look at the days, Stephanie, that it was basically you emptied the bins and you buried the dead and you did various things, and then the responsibilities grow and grow and grow. But maybe it's time to go back to basics.
I do sometimes feel like it is time to go back to basics, but I never understand when the government just feels like to keep on increasing and squeezing people for more and more money, which we don't have. And I just think, don't you have sense and don't you have a heart? Like, or by squeezing, making people get into more debt is going to get people into more problems, and we'll then end up going to go back to the government asking for more help, which clearly they can't provide because they're too busy spending on trying to get the name of a road done. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Right. Returning this young lad, tell us about this young lad who was in France, Alex Batty.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions that have clearly been raised of how he's been living his life since he disappeared from the UK in 2017. In 2017, when he went on holiday with his grandfather and his mother to Spain. But a French family have come out now and said that he visited them over the past 3 years. Yeah. And the reason why he's returned back to the UK is because he wanted to obtain identity papers, because he wanted to study, because all he's been doing during that time is he's been working as a handyman in exchange for donations for food and accommodation. So while it seems like he hasn't got no animosity towards his mother and grandfather, he clearly has been living this alternative lifestyle. And now he wants a bit of normality.
Do we know where his mother and grandfather are? And are they going to face any repercussions?
At the moment, they're still in France at this commune. He's refusing to kind of give details about them or for them to, you know, face any prosecution. But I guess when he gets back to normality, he'll probably understand that he's been living life a bit, you know, strangely over the past few years. But it's quite sad because I think when he left, he was only 11, and now to be coming back at 17.
So you guys think he should be facing the prosecution, or the family should be facing prosecution because he didn't attend, say, school, for instance?
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have been there. He was in custody. His grandmother had custody of him.
She was
Susan.
Yeah. So he
I find
was
it a bit
effectively
hard.
kidnapped.
It's hard with these situations because you do think parents should have control over how they want their children to live, but there should be things like your child should be attending school and having some sense of normality, not just living this crazy dream of an alternative
Let's talk
lifestyle.
about common sense, Alex, and the new Minister for Common Sense, friend of this very station, Esther McVey.
Yes, I know that her title gets gets a little bit of jabbing from the press here and there because, I mean, what a name, Minister for Common Sense. However, you know, she has brought out some interesting points. When you dig into the detail and you get over the Minister for Common Sense title, she's looking at doing some very good things, in my opinion. She says she wants to have a bonfire of quangos, which I couldn't agree more about. There's far too many nonsense organisations in the government and elsewhere. So an example of this is 11 council members, civil servants, beg your pardon, are being paid up to £450,000 to pay for their bills working from home. So this is an absolute bonkers thing. If I work from home, I pay my bills. I think most of us, if ever work from home, would be doing the same. And again, I don't think the taxpayer would appreciate that. So, you know, whilst I think there's a bit of jeering on her title, I think there is some good things that could come out of this that would make your taxpayer money go a bit further, considering it is the highest tax burden since World War II. So there could be some good things that come out of there, particularly as everyone else is being asked to tighten their belts as well.
OK. And Alex, as well, Rome's peace lights.
Yes.
Drone footage. Oh, this sounds like some lovely picture.
Yeah, hopefully.
Drone footage capturing Rome's peace-themed Christmas lights.
Yep,
Can we have a look at that?
See them now, yeah. So
Tell us about these.
Yeah, so they've gone for a peace theme this year, which I think is quite important given what's going on in the world. So they've lit up the streets of Rome with these beautiful lights, kind of similar to what we do in Oxford Circus, although it looks a lot less busy, if I might add. But again, I think everyone can agree it's a lovely display and a beautiful message for what's going on in the world right now.
Gorgeous.
Well, that's what the thing I do like about Christmas lights. They do allow you to just pause and just take it in and just, you know, just take in all the beauty of Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I think London's lights eclipse that at the moment.
Yeah.
I think London's
They're
lights
pretty
are always
impressive.
Beautiful, yeah. And you know, some people will not be happy with what they'll see as a political message being embedded in that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with peace at Christmas time. I think it is the spirit of it. But again, beautiful display right outside the Vatican.
Yeah, that's all very well and good, Alex. It's a beautiful display, but it's taking them all down again. I'm just sitting looking thinking, oh, my word.
Yeah.
Hopefully
their tax bill isn't as high as ours, otherwise I might have an issue with it, yeah.
Stephanie, carol singing is good for your health. Now, I never really believed Christmas has started unless I've been to a carol service, and I went to one last week, and I was very glad I did go. So what have you got to say about this?
Well, experts at Oxford University are saying carol singing is good for your health because it gives us a hormonal lift and it's great for your well-being, lower rates of depression, and there's that sense of community, which I think people just love at Christmas. And you get that the most at a carol service. I think it's just that feeling of everyone coming together and singing Christmas hymns. And we don't really get that through the year. Christmas is the only time when people really come together and they really want to get in the festive spirit. So carol singing is good for you. And it's in particular, it's good for people with dementia because it helps jog their memory and it helps people with Parkinson's disease as well because it helps them with their movements. I'm all for carol singing. I think it should be scheduled almost in every school.
I was watching yesterday morning on television, I was watching carol singing from Vienna somewhere.
Oh,
beautiful.
Vienna.
It was just one of those things, it was on Channel 4. No, it was Sky Arts. And I just sat and watched it. And then I flicked channels on, and Channel 4 was The Tiger Who Came to Tea. Right? And to this point, my wife made an appearance and said, very strange viewing you have. so I'm not, you know, there's the viewing police.
One of the most glorious things, I think, is the carols from King's College, Cambridge at Christmas, on Christmas Eve. Yeah. And it's on it's live on the radio. It is stunning. I can never get a ticket. I know people who've gone and say it's out of this world.
They are really beautiful, those. I think that it's such a lovely tradition at Christmas that we seem to have lost quite a lot of. I know people used to go door to door when I was a kid, I remember it, but we don't seem to do that anymore, which is a real shame.
I used to love the school carol service when I was little.
It just makes it. I think it's just so nice, and I hope traditions like this don't get like turned away and then people forget them. I think it's good that it's a part of the calendar.
And we must say happy birthday to Brad Pitt.
Oh, Mr. Brad Pitt is turning 60. And in the Daily Mail today, they've done a piece that he is the real-life Benjamin Button because he's aged quite well. I've interviewed Brad before, and I have to say he is one of the nicest men in Hollywood because he hasn't got an ego. He's very down-to-earth. I actually interviewed him when he was about to do a premiere with Angelina, and at the time, he was just really about her and letting her shine. But I think it's nice. I think in Hollywood, if you stay away from all the plastic surgery, you can end up looking good as Brad Pitt. He's Benjamin Button.
And do you think his face is, not that I really care, but do you think his face is wholly natural?
I think it's natural. He hasn't got that Hollywood look where they can't move their face. He's still got wrinkles on there. And I think, you know, with men, they don't get judged as much when it comes to ageing and stuff, so they don't feel the pressure to go under the knife.
Well,
like other female celebrities.
My dad will be watching. He's 59 today, so I'm sure he'll see those images of Brad Pitt, and I don't know whether he'll agree.
Just go home and say to him today, hi, Brad. I mean, Dad. Hey, Dad. No, listen, so, Alex, your dog, we were talking about festive dogs, festive pets, and people dressing them up for Christmas. Let's have a look at your dog. Oh, beautiful. Now, we're looking at some sort of sausage dog here.
That's right, he is. He's 5 years old. He's tiny. Everyone thinks he's a puppy still because he's so small. But, yeah, every year he gets a little Christmas outfit. He wears it for about 10 minutes and then goes nuts for us to take it off.
Does he shake that hat off?
Yeah. So that is a very uncandid moment there. That's literally after a few minutes of trying to get it on. But they hate wearing it. Dogs hate wearing these costumes.
Well, what's he like in the rain? Is he different if you bring him outside?
He hates the outdoors. Yeah,
he loves lying by the fire, all cosy. Well, and I think we've got your dog.
No. I just want to show Alex's dog again there, please, if it's there. And the reason I want to do this is my dog, which I'm now going to show you, is a rescue dog, and I had a DNA test done on the dog, and the DNA test came out, and we just look at my dog now. And it came out as basically a border collie, which you can see in her face there. But the cape, the regal Christmas cape, covers up the fact that the rest of her, some 35% or so, was sausage dog, dachshund.
There you go. They could be related.
Yeah.
Well, so my little dog Robin is also a mixed breed, and he is part Cocker Spaniel.
Oh,
yes, I can see the ears.
You
see that, and he looks very, very lovely.
How old is Robin?
He's 5, and he's a little horror.
In dog years, that's about the same as Brad Pitt.